From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, it is the first half of the first day of New Year's Day of 2024. And as expected, we're starting off with those dry conditions. Now we're looking at kind of a shot from earlier from Elk Country in Trinidad. And you can kind of see, if you look closely, some of the blue skies. A lot of times what happens is you can have that big contrast of the bright and the very dark. So it has a hard time and kind of get blasted out with those brights. But looks like things have cleared out for the most part. For most of the coast is really what we're looking at this point here. We take a look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. There was somebody out there earlier enjoying the water. It looks like we do have those clear skies, just a couple of those passing high clouds at this point, so making for a gorgeous day, despite the fact that it's a little chilly out there. If we look at Trinity Center, there you can see, if you look closely, we are seeing some breaks in the clouds there. There has been some of the low clouds and some of the fog, especially in some of those low-lying areas in the mountains. And some of you in those areas may be sucked in with that fog throughout the day today, but we've certainly seen that trend here for Trinity Center to see some of the clearing when we do see some of that clearing from that morning fog. And look at Lassen Park. Wow. I mean, what a beautiful area we live in. This is just that constant reminder. I mean, you've got the blue skies out there. Nice little contrast of the blue skies and those beautiful snow-peaked mountains, snow-packed mountains. All right, looking good. All right, so here's the deal. We've got dry and mild start to the new year, but that will be changing by tomorrow, the cooler and unsettled weather pattern, with snow levels finally beginning to drop. Things much more promising for snow for the ski park. So there you can see this right here is actually what I've got my eyes on. This is the leading edge of the storm. This will bring us a little bit of rainfall, but the main band of rain is going to be in this general area right here, and that's what's going to be moving in here by tomorrow. Now, we do have a chance for thunderstorms, but that's not the main headline. I just want you to be aware, especially along the coast. And even though Crescent City and even north of Eureka, not within that area of green, doesn't mean we won't see a thunderstorm. The chances are there. We didn't see much in the way of thunderstorm activity last time we were expecting it, so that's not the main headline. But again, I just want you to be aware that if you hear a rumble of thunder or two, don't be surprised. But the main headline will be the heavier rainfall and lower snow levels, and not to mention some gusty winds at times, but nothing quite like what we saw last week. Here's today at 6 p.m., mainly clear skies, absolutely gorgeous first day of the year. Then by tomorrow, we see here's the main cold front right here, by the way, okay? So you have the main cold front. In front of it, what we call prefrontal showers. And that's essentially what's going to happen is we're going to see some of those showers early tomorrow morning. Those will then push through the valley at some point in the morning, and not to mention to the north and east. Snow levels, I'm going to put them somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 feet because the coldest air won't be here just yet. The main cold front's here, so we've got colder air coming in behind it. So you can see by noon on Tuesday, what we're seeing here is the heaviest rainfall along the coast. And again, some of those prefrontal showers off of the north and east. Then we take you into 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Now the main band of rain is in the valley. Now what we're seeing here, as I mentioned, snow levels averaging around 4,000 feet. But for areas that see heavy downpours and heavy snow flurries, could be looking at the potential of, when you have the heavy snow, couple of things. Number one, sometimes the snowflakes have a hard time and don't have time to melt because it's coming down so quickly. But number two, sometimes when you have those heavy snow downpours, you have colder air that makes its way down to the surface as well. And that can help to sustain some of the snow that we will see in some of the lower elevations. So I don't anticipate that for places like Hayfork or Weaverville. But Mount Shasta City, yes. You can see we're not seeing quite the heavy downpours around, say, Bernie or even around Shingletown. But look what happens as we go into about 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Now we're seeing the heavier snow off to the east, so places like Bernie, Upper Shingletown, surely could see that potential down to about 3,000, 3,500 feet. But again, the bulk of any accumulating snow is most likely going to be above 4,000 feet, which is good news for the ski park because that's at 5,500 feet at the base, not to mention as you go higher in elevation at the ski park. Then we go into Wednesday, 6 a.m. Now we're seeing this area of low pressure here off the coast. Flow around that will bring rain and not to mention higher elevation snow Wednesday morning. We take into Wednesday around noon. Now that flow is pushed eastward into the valley. Then we go into Wednesday evening. Now it's all mainly pushing down to the south, and we see drier conditions by the time we go into Thursday. Rainfall estimates, I'd say about an inch. Some areas, especially around Redding, you see this right here. This is the potential for what we call a training effect, or in some cases we even call it a convergence line. We've got some strong winds coming in from the south, and that could create a convergence line, which could bring some heavy rainfall in a long period of time in this general area right here. So we could be looking at the potential around Redding, seeing over an inch of rain, but I think on average a half an inch to an inch south of Redding, about an inch for the coast, and much less precipitation as we've seen off to the north and east. Snow. Yeah, looking pretty good. I mean, you could see some accumulating snow from Mount Shasta City, not to mention Chester. Alturas, Susanville, yes, I think you could see some accumulating snow, but it won't be much because as you saw on the map earlier, there just isn't much precipitation off to the north and to the east. Remember the winds I was talking about. As we take you into Tuesday, the winds will pick up Tuesday afternoon for the coast, not to mention Shasta Valley and central Siskiyou County. We could eventually see some wind advisories in some of these areas. And then as we go into Tuesday evening, there are those strong winds around Redding. That's where you saw that bullseye of heavier rainfall north of Redding, because again, we could be looking at a convergence line producing some heavier rainfall, especially just north of Redding, less in the way of that rainfall heading southward. And then the wind should die down by the time we go into your Wednesday. Here's your long range. As mentioned, Thursday will be dry. Then we have the next storm coming in. This one looks even colder. By Friday, snow level is 3,500 feet. What does that mean? Mount Shasta City, Shingletown, Bernie, I think all could be looking at the potential for snow, and not to mention places like Alturas, Susanville, Chester. I think Hayfork, Weaverville, still in the form of rain at this point. But Saturday, I think it'll be even colder. Snow levels could be as low as 2,000 feet by Saturday. So we'll have to kind of wait and see if it actually does get that low, but that's what I'm calling for at this point. And then it looks like by Sunday into Monday of next week, we'll start to kind of dry things out a little bit. But there you can see some more activity coming into the northwest, which means more rain, more snow for next week as well. We'll certainly take it. Wave heights, yeah, they're going to be much lower than they have been, but they're going to be increasing again for your Tuesday with the approaching storm system. But notice the wave heights, not nearly as strong as they were last week. So here's what it looks like for the rest of the day today. Temperatures around 60, give or take, for the valley. For the eastern mountains, northern mountains, mid to upper 40s. For Trinity County, low to mid 50s, as well as the inland areas, upper 50s for the coast. So your 7-day forecast, we're going to be talking about those snow levels. On average, keep in mind, this is just average. On average, starting off around 4,000 feet. Could be locally lower in some cases, could be locally higher in others. We have a lot of these different microclimates around here. It's really hard to pinpoint exactly the snow levels for each particular location. So we kind of look at a broad sense of things like, okay, on average, we're talking about 4,000 feet. And again, depending on where you are, it could be a little bit higher or lower. But usually about a 500-foot buffer in there, right? And then we go to Thursday, it's dry, and then looks like those snow levels will start to drop by the time we get into Friday, Saturday. So places like Weaverville and Hayfork, as I mentioned, on Saturday have the potential for snow. It's not guaranteed just yet, but that potential is there. Now for Redding, Red Bluff, and Chico in the valley, of course, we've got the dry conditions for the rest of the day today. Showers, now there are going to be some showers in the morning. Don't get me wrong, there will be showers. It says PM showers here. That's where we see the heavier rainfall. Okay, and then on Wednesday, some more scattered showers. Dry Thursday, and then more showers going into Friday, and not to mention Saturday. Now your 7-day outlook for the coast, same situation here. I've got the snow levels for Trinity County around 4,000 feet for Tuesday, Wednesday. Could be locally lower. 3,500 feet on your Friday, down to 2,000 feet. Maybe some snowflakes for Weaverville and Hayfork by the first half of the weekend.